memories will always stay. Flip on the loop, see them dance and sing. You won't believe what surprises will bring. Where in the world but Astroworld can you have so much fun?
And so close to home.
Astroworld opened to the public on June 1st of 1968. This seasonal amusement park, previously located in Houston, Texas, was originally designed by Randall Duell, who was known for his work on such notable parks as Six Flags Over Texas, both Marriott Great America parks in Santa Clara, California and Gurnee, Illinois, Six Flags Magic Mountain, Carowinds, Kings Island, Kings Dominion, Opryland, and Hershey Park, among others. The name Astroworld was an homage to the space programs of the United States after Houston was decided upon as the home of NASA's Johnson Space Center in 1965. Astroworld's 104-acre property was prone to flooding, and because of this, a lot of dirt was needed to fill in the area during early preparations of the site, with some areas being filled as deep as 6 feet. Astroworld was innovative and ahead of its time as well. Construction included an outdoor air conditioning system, which radiated chilled water to most areas of the park, providing a cool environment for guests in the heat by means of underground pipes. Many antiques, some from the personal collection of park founder Judge Roy Hoffines, were placed throughout the park's original themed areas. There was much love and care put into the details of these themed lands, with the park landscaping including 10,000 trees, 20,000 shrubs, millions of flowers, and about 600 varieties of plants, which all contributed to the distinct atmosphere of these areas. Upon its grand opening to the public, Astroworld consisted of 8 themed areas, which each had their own identity. Everything from the architecture, soundtracks, lighting, cast wardrobe, and shops and restaurants all had their own dedicated theme. The original 8 themed lands on opening day were as follows: Americana Square, Alpine Valley, Children's World, European Village, Modville, Plaza de Fiesta, Oriental Corner, and Western Junction. Attractions for the opening included, but were not limited to, the famous Astro Needle, Astro Wheel Double Ferris Wheel, the Orbiter, which was a common scrambler ride, a shooting gallery, petting zoo, and a Denzel carousel, among many other rides and entertainment offerings. Yet another themed area, the creatively named Fun Island, would open for the 1970 season. This tiny area between Oriental Center and European Village featured a Wacky Shack, which was a tilted illusion house, a chance toboggan called Swamp Buggy Ride, and a modification to the Scrambler where it was enclosed in a dome.
But yet another themed area would open in 1972 under the name Country Fair. This area featured the Dexter Freebish electric roller ride, a mine train roller coaster manufactured by Aero Development, and was one of the first Aero mine trains to utilize steel support columns. 1973 would bring the removal of the Swamp Buggy Ride, the park's chance toboggan, and a performance stage was built at the base of Astroneedle in 1974. In 1975, Astroworld was leased to the Six Flags chain with a deal, which included an option to purchase. Six Flags must have seen a lot of potential in Astroworld, as the company took advantage of this option to buy before the 1976 season. This brings us to the Coney Island section, which would open in 1976. The star attraction of this area, and an icon of the park until its closing, was the Texas Cyclone wooden coaster. Astroworld originally intended on relocating the Coney Island Cyclone from New York City, as the park wanted a wooden coaster, and Coney Island Cyclone was in despair and in danger of being torn down at the time. However, Astroworld soon realized that this would be far too costly of an undertaking, so they instead opted on building a taller, faster, mirrored image version of the ride, which would be designed by Don Rosser and William Cobb. In an ironic twist, the Coney Island Cyclone was saved and reopened the same year Texas Cyclone opened in 1976, but the original Cyclone is still operating to this day, 15 years after the Texas Cyclone met its demise. A piece of the Texas Cyclone can still be seen at the National Roller Coaster Museum. In 1977, Modville was renamed International Plaza. The Aquarina Theater was also built, featuring performances by trained dolphins. Country Fair Carousel was removed, but there was also the addition of Boogie Fog Disco. Grease Lightning, a Schwarzkopf shuttle launch coaster, was added in 1978. To cap the 1970s off, 1979 saw the addition of the Showcase Lagoon Grandstands, which featured stunt ski performances.
The 1980s were a pivotal time for Astroworld. Thunder River, the world's first river rapids ride, opened in 1980. For 1981, Country Fair was renamed Nottingham Village, which included the Dexter Freebish electric roller ride being renamed to simply Excalibur, as well as a rethemed Q House. The Astro Wheel was also removed at this time. Sky Screamer, a unique first-generation Intamin freefall tower, opened in 1983 and lasted through the 1997 season. Waterworld was also a very notable addition in 1983. This was a standalone water park located east of Astroworld. For 20 years, it required separate admission and wasn't included in an Astroworld ticket. However, in 2002, a pedestrian sidewalk was added, and Waterworld admission was added to Astroworld admission, and Waterworld was turned into a themed area of the amusement park section. 1984 was a particularly notable year for the park. Not only did the Children's World Kids area close and move to the European Village site and become Enchanted Kingdom, but 1984 saw the addition of a new star attraction of the park. This was the first ever successful installation of an aerodynamic suspended swinging coaster, and it was known as XLR-8. This opened just 1 year after the complete failure known as the Bat closed at Kings Island, which barely lasted 3 seasons and often didn't operate. Accelerate was a much more tame experience compared to the Bat, and it avoided all of the design flaws, which made it a very reliable ride that would last all the way until Astroworld's closing in 2005. Accelerate was built with the intentions of eventually relocating it, as Six Flags was pushing their ride rotation program throughout their parks at the time as a strategy to draw in more guests. The intent to move the ride isn't too surprising when looking at the layout itself and the land it occupied. Real evidence of this, though, could be found in the Q House of the ride, which was a basic wooden platform covered by a canvas canopy. Southern Star Amphitheater would come in 1985 and often featured many big names performing there until about 1990. 1986 saw the addition of an Intamin looping starship as well as the seasonal Halloween event Fright Nights, which would be renamed Fright Fest in 1993 and run all the way through the rest of the park's history. The Six Flags Corporation was acquired in 1987 by Westray Capital Corporation for $610 million. During the same season, the Troika ride, known as Warp 10, was moved to the Plaza de Fiesta area and renamed Warp 2000. Wacky Shack was also closed and its building converted into a season pass processing center. Beginning with the next decade, however, there would be many huge changes coming which would really shape the future for Astroworld, for better or for worse. Be sure to go check out part 2 on Matt's channel Downhill Adrenaline, linked in the card and description, to find out what happened to Astroworld beyond the 1980s. I would also like to thank Matt very much for helping me out on this video. Be sure to go check out his channel. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, like my page Coaster Daddy on Facebook, as well as following Coaster Daddy Official on Instagram. I also have a merch store with lots of really cool stuff. Thank you so much for watching. This is Coaster Daddy. Bye.